All right, here we are, the first Schmolke investment team practice report for 2023, a Thursday morning, and we got to see the entire practice, 15 minutes of video and cameras up, but we saw a lot today, and then we could talk to Brian Kelly afterwards. I bring in Buddy Songy, Mike Scarborough here with TigerBait.com. Buddy, what'd you see today?
Happy Thursday, everybody. It is afternoon as we've been out here all morning. By the way, John Emery was not out at practice doing an internship today, and he will be out there tomorrow. Availability only 15 minutes tomorrow, but we did have availability. They went 8 periods inside and 6 or 7 outside. Brian Kelly saying that they had worked their guys all through the summer, so they felt they would be acclimated to the heat. To be honest, folks, we got a little bit of a break. It was 92 degrees out there. Certainly us old fat meaty guys were sweating a little bit, but for the most part, not bad at all. And we open up by saying corners and safeties are going to be something that we will continue to talk about all the way until the eve of September 3rd.
He brings up the heat. Deuce Chestnut lost his breakfast on the sideline. They were bringing a few guys out in and out that were having some issues, but they had a cool tent set up and really being smart about the way they handle things out here. Buddy brings up the DBs and maybe some what looked like struggles today, but I think Brian Kelly made a good point. A lot of these guys are one-on-one. There's no edge rush. There's no defensive line rush, no penetration. And so, but regardless of that, the offense is going to be ahead of the defense. You know, when you look at this offense and the weapons they got, it's almost like you think they're going to be able to pick their points. All the wide receivers, all the running backs. A lot of talk on the offensive line today. Marlon Martinez behind Charles Turner at center. And I know you looked at the offensive line group and how you thought that stacked up and who they were rotating in. 2 rows of running backs to get the reps in, because you got 7 out there. You'll get 8 tomorrow with John Emery. And some of the tight end group. I can't remember if I got any of that on video. I've got so much more I've got to get tomorrow because we only got 15 minutes of cameras up in the indoor facility up on the catwalk. But we're going to be out here every day, and we're going to get each group as camp goes further into August.
Coach Kelly did also say at the end of the media session, Malik Neighbors will be a featured guy. Look, we all thought Kayshon Boutte was going to get doubled. And when you have a primary receiver getting a lot of the doubles, you have guys like Kyron Lacey and obviously Brian Thomas Jr. And here's another guy, number 1. You loved him. You felt sick to your stomach when he went over to the enemy at Alabama. Of course, he had an injury. He looks good. Aaron Anderson is going to be in the mix. By the way, Pimpton, this kid that was committed to Vanderbilt, he is going to be a future star. Mike, he looks so good with so soft hands. You're going to see him line up outside and be in the slot. He will be a big receiver.
He looks amazing. He does not look like a freshman, buddy.
4 new tight ends, a lot of depth. No questions asked about the quarterbacks. It's too early to ascertain on that. But once again, we're out here as we start to tell you and try to give you a little preview of what to look for each week with these practices.
I tell you what, looking at Ovi Gofu out there today, number 2, what a body on this kid, the build on him. I was remarking to someone earlier. I said, you know, everybody used to go ooh and ah over LaRon Landry about how if football didn't work out, he could be a professional bodybuilder. I think the same thing goes for Ovi Gofu. He looks like he could be on a Mr. Olympia stage in 3 weeks with some diet. I mean, what a specimen he's going to be, and that's a big need for them to have some edge rush. And I really like what he looked like on the hoof today, and I can't wait to see more of him throughout fall camp. And again, we're getting a ton of access that is very much appreciative. And Brian Kelly today is even going a step further. And what I really enjoyed about him was talking about the injuries, and a lot of media jumped on it. He's going to be given NFL-style injury reports multiple times during the week. So he's going to be giving you questionable, possible, all that stuff, and with some specificity, with some specifics. So I think that's something that a lot of people seized on, and he thought it was. And basically what he boiled it down to is that it's been silly the way it's been handled for years, and he's surprised it took him that long to do it. And I think, to me, that's just another example of him being loose and a veteran, mature coach who's seen it all. And, because that's something that Les Miles used to play games with, Ed used to a little bit. And really, it's never really made sense.
Big Zero Mason Smith was out there, watched him a lot. Looks good in the 315 range. Look, folks, when you talk about Ovio Gofu, Mason Smith, Makai Wingo, and Savion Jones, you are talking about a big, bullish, badass defensive line. Inside, Harold Perkins wearing 4. Obviously, Omar Spates wearing 1. Greg Penn looks like he leaned in a little bit wearing number 30. The Weeks brothers, 40 and 33, are backups there. Starting corners today that I saw in early drills, Deuce Chestnut and Zy Alexander, Denver Harris, and others getting. LaTerrence Wells had a pretty tough day with the Heat as well. Brooks, Burns, and Sage Ryan, all those guys, Toviano. So once again, a lot of bodies out there will start to digest, and as Coach Kelly said, really you go for about 5 or 6 practices before you start worrying about depth charts and reps. I will tell you, Noah Kane, Josh Williams, and others got those running back depths, and you could tell he's happy as hell after having only 2 running backs in the spring. Now to have 8 once Emory gets back. Trey Bradford looked good. You know I'm high on Logan Diggs. The 2 freshmen, boy, really like.
I thought Armani Goodwin looked good.
Armani looked good. He's got a knee brace, and he's always had injuries. And then you talk about Trey Holly, looks much more polished. And Caleb Jackson, man, he is a specimen.
Caleb Jackson, if you just talk about which one looks the part of all the running backs, and look, they're all elite guys. Caleb Jackson is the one who's like, you just go, wow, physically. And of course, we know, what is he, about 6 foot, 6'1", 220 pounds in that realm. And boy, he's something fantastic. Guys, if you're enjoying this practice report, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, notification bell. I think I probably have about 10 minutes of practice on video, maybe a little bit more, somewhere between 10 and 13 minutes. Go to tigerbait.com, subscribe. That's going to be on our premium side for $1. You can try us out. We've got another newsletter coming out your way as well, I think later today. So go to tigerbait.com and subscribe. And of course, this practice report is brought to you by the Schmolke investment team. If you're overwhelmed by all the social media in today's world, it's so difficult to know what the facts are. That's where the Schmolke investment team comes in. They will help you manage your money and make the decision best suited for you and your family. When you insist on your money, when you invest your money with the Schmolke investment team, you get over 40 years of an investment experience. Let Brian and Bart Schmolke help you pursue the future you want. Give them a call, 318-448-3201. That's 318-448-3201. The Schmolke investment team, securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor member, FINRA/SIPC.
One other little tidbit, Brian Kelly obviously happy with the guys that were on the team, have SEC experience. Most of the new guys are swimming right now. Lance Hurd, we talked about it. He's at right tackle, backing up Emory Jones. Emory Jones lost 10 pounds in the offseason. He's at 6'6", 315. Lance Hurd now 6'6", 340. And, of course, they're cross-training Bordelon. And DJ Chester came in. He's also a third center right now. Battle at center, I think you agree with. Mason Taylor is going to get a lot of balls because he's a great tight end. And they've got a lot more depth there. And wide receiver, once again, to me, early opinion, probably as loaded as it gets. You're going to have 6, 7 wide receivers probably play every game because they can all do something differently.
Again, I'm just amazed by the offense. I want to look more at defense tomorrow. We get 15 minutes tomorrow. I think we don't get players until Monday, right? And so that'll be our first talk. I will say this, when looking at the quarterbacks today, Joe Sloan getting after Garrett Nussmeier, which he says fussed at him for some knuckleballs on the toss to the running backs. Looked like they were having a little bit of trouble with that. But I will say this, the deep ball thrown by all 3 quarterbacks. Ricky Collins threw some beautiful deep balls today. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more of Ricky Collins throughout. But I thought Jaden Daniels was throwing the ball superbly. And I will say this, regardless of what the corners and the safeties were doing, it was obvious to me how much work in the summer on their own that the quarterbacks and the receivers did. I saw a lot of crisp passes, a lot of good route running, and you could tell these guys did a lot of work throughout the summer.
Chris Hilton, let's give this guy a rosary bead and can stay healthy. He was getting a lot of reps, number 17, looking good. Aaron Anderson in the slot. He puts his foot in the ground, really doing great work in the offseason and in the weight room. And, of course, as we know, Shelton Sampson, all those freshmen coming in, Kai Pring. But there's no doubt you're going to see Pimpton catch some balls. He has got some soft hands. And as always, I got to go do a radio show.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Head over to Drip IV, say Tiger Bait, and they'll give you 10% off an IV over there by Iverstein Farms on Perkins Road. And tell them you heard about them on Tiger Bait over at Drip IV. And big thanks again for the Schmolke investment team. We'll see you after tomorrow's practice. Thanks, everybody.